Hi, Dr. Florence. This is Kamisha McCoy. I'm from your Psychology 490 capstone class for this summer of 2025. And here is my presentation. What is the relationship between academic support services and anxiety in post-secondary education of students with disabilities? And my overall abstract had to do with students with learning disabilities face anxiety. Disability resource centers provide academic support. Services can target and manage anxiety. And then the facilitated gaps between anxiety and learning disability. The key words were anxiety, disability resource center, DRCs, learning disabilities, LD, and academic. The introduction is learning disabilities LD can impact academic experience, and I know this firsthand. Accommodations in the Disability Resource Center DRCs provide tailored support systems which are effective and can improve academic success. And I have learned from this semester that the documentation process can really be tedious and create a lot of stress. The purpose of this whole project was exploring relationships between academic support services and anxiety with students who have learning disabilities, and then the accommodations that the DRC provides for us students, and then running into the facilitated gaps and hopefully filling them in with this research and current support services for LD students. Research questions. My main one was, what is the relationship between academic support systems and anxiety and students with disabilities? And my sub-questions were, what types of services does the DRC provide for students with disabilities? What are the facilitated gaps for college students receiving accommodations? And there's quite a few. And then the scholarly relevance of this whole thing was the exploration of, anxiety management for students, more improved development of systems that are effective and efficient, and providing a comprehensive overview of DRCs. And last but not least, identification of other gaps in supportive systems. And I found a gap doing this research was that there's not a whole lot of current research. Implications. So I believe this could help a lot of people, doing these literature reviews, well, at least mine would be very important to educators, peacemakers, and the students ourselves. And this was intended to support students with learning disabilities, but it does have its trade-offs. This literary review identifies some of the potential gaps in DRC's current services. Methods that I had used to kind of throw this slideshow together and the whole paper were peer review articles in journals, articles, books, a YouTube video, and I even ran into one dissertation. And the criteria overall established was selecting articles that I felt focused on education for LD students and academic support systems, DRC, and disability students of higher education, as well as the anxiety that it contributes and the established gaps. Research, I know you said you wanted to stay between a couple of years, but there really wasn't any current research, not a whole lot. So most of my research came from, between 1980 to 2024. And then there was quite a few. The major published sources were between 2000 and 2022, and I apologize for that. And then the sources reviewed, I had 25 review articles. And then the examples of those was Vaughn and Swanson, 2015, Kim and Lee, 2016. They come up quite a few times. And then 5 books, and then was Rampus, 2021. I had 1 YouTube video with Sprouts, 2021, and then the 1 dissertation. And then the databases that I used were ProQuest, Gil, Academic OneFile, Google Scholar, and then the keywords to kind of find these articles was learning disabilities, disability resource centers, higher education accommodation for students with LD, and then the articles were published in, well, some of them, Psychological Injury in Law, and then College Student Journal, and then International Journal of Management. And the synthesis for this is, identification of themes. I analyze gaps within the research articles and the limitation of each studied. I compare articles to each other. I use the theological approach, which also includes definitions, psychological theories, and psychologists themselves. And then I integrated, the findings of each article. And then for summarization, I tried to make a very complex information that I found more concise and more easy to kind of integrate into your own life. Looking at the relevancy, I tried to instill the main idea of each article. And then results and findings, DRC support, reduce, and enhance anxiety, and it really does. Having a supportive system improves outcomes, making support systems more easy and efficient to access can be a positive effect with LD students. And then accommodations are helpful for students. Gaps are still in existence. And then I just gave an example of a couple of the authors that I used. And then conclusion, academic support systems have the ability to reduce anxiety, and it's supposed to say in LD students. The impact on support systems is in connection with anxiety levels. DRCs have pros and cons. Student success can be improved by filling in those gaps. Future research investigated strategies can give more detail on how managing anxieties can refine support systems. And that one is so true. And then I just have my references. I have 3 slides. I apologize. The URLs are very long, so I couldn't put them all in one slide. And these are just the ones that you've seen in this slideshow. Kim and Lee, Gallo, and then we have Rampus, Sprouts, Vaughn, and Swanson. And then we have Wallace. And yeah, this is my presentation. Sorry it was a bit long. I hope you enjoyed it. I learned so much for your class. You take care, and I hope I run into you again in the future. Bye-bye.